Hey, hey, hey. So happy to have you on today's live session. Today we're going to dig in with the topic around contribution, making a contribution in this world, and what that looks like, and how do you even begin. I'm your girl, Erica Wigley, coach and meditation instructor, and in this space and in this place is where we get to press the reset button on our life. A moment in which we return to presence, return to what is most important, and that is being here and now. Forgetting about all the things that we're holding on to from our past, and also releasing any anxieties about tomorrow. Those two time points don't exist anymore. All we have is right here and now. So how do we maximize that and make it the best that it can be? And that is by reprogramming our mindset. That's by taking true, definitive, and intentional action in this moment to create the life that we really want. My intention for each and every week is to make these mindful sessions very simple, easy, and effortless. And when you do feel and know that these practices each week are simple, easy, and effortless, you'll engage more in making them a part of your everyday life. So let's get into today's topic on contribution and what that looks like. There are 3 keys that I'll focus on today. Number 1 is to have a vision. Have a vision for what it is that you want to do and contribute to the world. Or even if that means your community. It doesn't always have to be such a huge vision. But the point is to step outside of yourself and to do something with that vision. The second key is to identify the need. And the third is to take definitive action. So we're not just talking about it, but we're actually being about it, right? So let's get into number 1. Number 1 is to have a vision. Start thinking about the kind of world that you wish to live in. For yourself, for your children, for your family, and even for the collective good. Maybe it's no one that you know, but you essentially want to create something better for the people that exist around you that you may or may not know. And as you start to think about what that vision is, identify where within that vision you can best fit. Remember, this vision is not about you. This is where you step outside of yourself to connect to the heart of those that are hurting, the heart of those that are needing assistance, and perhaps even not just a person, but maybe it's the environment. Maybe there's something there that really tugs at your heart that you feel within your being that you're supposed to do. As you start to map out what this vision is, you need to connect with people in order to make it happen. Who else within your community feels the way that you do? Is it an organization that you can align with to further take this vision and start to map it out into something that is tactile and actionable? And as you start to connect with others, now you're building a community. It's not just a silo of you, but you're connecting with others essentially to create more power into what it is that you are called to do. We each have a calling. We each have that very thing, that something that we were brought to this world to do. And it's not until we start to do something with that vision that it begins to take shape and morph and even perhaps transition into something else. The key is to honor the vision. And in honoring the vision, you create space and margin to do something with it. Remember, in giving, which essentially is contributing, it's not always about finances. While that is one aspect of important giving, not everyone has the finances to be able to contribute. So, where are some other things, or what are some other things that you can do to contribute? Is it perhaps in giving your time, investing your weekends into contributing to that area that most pulls and tugs at your heart? Or perhaps there's a talent that you have that you can share and offer to an organization or to your community, or perhaps even just locally, cleaning up your neighborhood, making a more conscious decision to eat better, supporting produce that is healthy versus what is not, and maybe even taking that into your community, whatever that vision looks like for you. Remember, around this vision, you have to connect with people, and around that connection, determine what your gift is. Whether it's your time, talent, or financial treasure to participate in this contribution. I have to tell you that on my own journey of entrepreneurship, it can be a lonely road. And here's what I mean by that. It means that you or I am often working late hours, working weekends, and missing hanging out time with my friends and family. Because in my mind, I have a vision for the kind of world that I hope to create. And the company that I started is a vision and a visual map for me to bridge the gap between where I am and where I want to be with this larger vision of where I see the world. Most recently, I connected with entrepreneurial women in New York City, and it has been the best decision that I have ever made. I set a goal last year to partner and collaborate. Because again, as I said, this entrepreneurial road can very much be a lonely road. And I can get really focused and lasered in on the thing that I need to do. But there's but so far that I can go alone. Remember, business itself cannot take flight unless you're using the gifts within the business to serve others. So as I connected with these professional women, it has opened up some other opportunities. Most recently, in fact, yesterday, I opened up my email and I was selected, my business was selected as a luminary, in which there's a partnership between Chase and female entrepreneurial businesses, and my business was selected as one. I'm so excited. And in fact, the message was sent to me 2 days ago, and I was so busy that I didn't even check my email in the evening. So here I was checking my email and so excited and so grateful that I made the decision to contribute. And that contribution was in connecting with other professional women, other entrepreneurial women, which opened up this opportunity that I heard about. In fact, one of the entrepreneurs reached out to me and said, "Hey, Erica, I think you should do this." And within that moment, I applied And, I just let it go. And here it is a few weeks later, they selected my business to be a luminary. And I just want to mention that because sometimes we do things not realizing the importance of connection, community, involving community within all of that doing. Sometimes we are uncertain if what we're doing is really making a difference. Perhaps you know something about that. Perhaps you've been there. Perhaps you know someone that has been there too. And that leads me to key number 2. Key number 2 is around identifying the need. As I mentioned, I have a business and I have this collective vision, this vision of where I see this business and serving others. And also realizing that this vision is much bigger than me. And it's in the doing aspect that everything starts to take shape and morph and grow. And it goes beyond even your wildest imagination. You may start out one way, but in the doing you realize, hey, you know what? My niche is here. I can serve better here and give to others more in this area. So as you identify whatever that need is, ask yourself, what is important to you? At the core of your being, what is important to you? Do you even know what that is? What is tugging at your heartstrings to say, hey, you know what? Something isn't right here and I need to do something. May not know what that something is, but I identify that there's a need here that needs to be filled. And as you start to figure out what is important to you, then ask yourself, what am I really aligned with? Because you might feel as though all of these things are important to you. You may list out so many different things that are important to you. And now from that list, it's important to understand what are you most aligned with within that list. What are you most connected to? What do you think about the most? Where do you feel that you can serve the most? How can you bring those gifts and talents that you have to the table as an offering for humanity, for the collective good, to make a difference? And as you start to map out that aspect of contributing to this larger society, world, or perhaps just your neighborhood, which is important too, that then leads us to key number 3. Key number 3 is in taking action. Remember, none of this makes any sense if we're not doing anything with it. We could just talk about it, or we could actually be about it. And I think you joining this live means that you really are about it. Perhaps you're wanting to step into something bigger in your life and needing a little bit of guidance to get it started. Consider this session as the fertilizer, right? Just enough stirring in your soul to actually say, you know what? I'm going to actually do something with this idea, this vision that I have in mind, this rumbling in my soul and spirit that I have to do something with. And as you're taking that action, ask yourself also, where can you volunteer your time? As you're connecting with others, identify the nonprofit organizations, grassroots organizations that you can connect with and align with. to support the very thing that is important and aligned with you. These 3 keys are powerful. Powerful tools to get started. My hope is that each weekly session is seen as being simple, easy, and effortless, as I mentioned earlier. Enough so that you do something with it. I'm so grateful that you and I get to talk about things that matter to us, real stuff. Not all of that fluff, but real stuff. And in that doing and taking action, we begin to create a world that's much better than the world that we were born into. The reality is that each of us have a responsibility. We're here for a reason, and it's not just about our family, and it's not just about the things that we want to do for ourselves. It's really about leaving this world better than when we entered it. The news is a perfect example of everything that's, I can't say everything, but it's a perfect example of the wrongs that are happening in the world. We don't really hear all about the good things, right? But there are good things that are happening in the world. We're just not seeing that on the news. But there's enough happenings that are out of alignment with the greater good within the world that should stir our soul enough to say, hey, I can't sit back and allow any of this to happen. What can I do? Where can I contribute? How can I use my gifts and talents for something greater and better? For my children, for my family, for my community, for the people that I don't even know yet. So as we start to think about and map that out, understand that you are taking a very important action in your life. And this important action leads you into who you really are, introduces you to your greatest self. Now that's a contribution. Let's get ready to lock in and seal in today's mindful session. For those of you that are new to watching these weekly sessions with me, after each mindful discussion, I then lead you into a meditation. And then you go on about your day and take these little nuggets with you. At least that is my hope and my intention. And I hope that that will be your intention too. Please just adjust yourself in your seated position, allowing whatever area in your body to be adjusted that needs it. If you're feeling pain in your back or your arm or your shoulders, just allow your body to soften by moving it in a way, positioning it in a way that alleviates some of that pain. And you want to do that because as we enter into this breathing practice and meditation, if you are sitting uncomfortably, then all of your attention is going to go to the area of discomfort in your body. And you're not going to hear anything I'm saying. You're not going to be focused on what we're doing in this moment. So it's important to really adjust your posture and your body so that it does feel comfortable. If you need to get a cushion for your seat, please do so. If you need to sit on the ground, please do so. Whatever it is that you need to do to be comfortable and to be present, to be fully present, then let's do that. As we breathe in, there's some important rules of engagement. I'll ask that you breathe in through your nose and allow that air to drop down low into your diaphragm, expanding your diaphragm. Okay? So you're going to consciously be aware of the breath as it's entering your body and allowing that air to drop down low. Okay? Oftentimes we do a lot of chest breathing, and we trap a lot of the air in the upper part of our chest. And oftentimes it's because we're stressed, or we're feeling maybe stress in our body, pain, or perhaps just thinking about a lot of things that's creating stress. And maybe it could be the environment that we're in that creates stress. So being conscious of how we're breathing is really important. It also helps to relax the body. What I ask is that on the exhale, that you allow yourself to hear the exhale. And I'll demonstrate what that looks like as we are breathing together. The sound of your breath is also very relaxing. It's like listening to relaxing music. Remember, that sound of your breath is coming from you. It's nothing artificial. It's not from the external world that you're hearing the sound, but it's coming from your own being. That's a primordial sound, an essential sound, a powerful sound to reset your mind and body. So as we do this breathing practice together, ensure that you're comfortable. Allow your shoulders to be rounded out if you can, if that's comfortable for you. You want to relax the muscles in your face, your cheeks. Be intentional and aware of what your jaw is doing. Sometimes we clench down when we're stressed, and we do it unconsciously, not realizing that that's what we're doing. So this time I ask that you just be aware of what's happening in your face, right? And let's soften any tension around our eyes that we might be carrying. We'll soften any tension that we may or may not have around our eyebrows. This area is also an area that when we're stressed, we can tense up the muscles here, right? And not to mention that it does also create premature wrinkles as well. It just does. All right, so let's get started. Let's breathe in through our nose. Breathe out through our mouth. Ensuring that we hear our breath on the exhale. Breathing in through our nose. Breathe out through our mouth. Breathing in again through our nose. And out through our mouth. With each inhale and exhale, making it very intentional, slow and steady. Inhaling again through our nose. Exhaling through our mouth. And letting it all go. This time you can close your eyes. And really start to scan your body from head to toe, just noticing any subtle changes that are happening inside of you. Becoming more aware of what your internal body is saying to you. And giving yourself a moment of reverence right here for your body, your breath, and everything that it's done for you for your entire lifetime. This time we'll breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth, and we'll hold our breath for 4 seconds. I will do the count as you breathe. Let's breathe in through our nose. Out through our mouth. Hold the breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. Hold the breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. Hold the breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathing in again through the nose. And out through the mouth. Hold the breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's release the breath. Return to the natural inflow and outflow of your breathing. And again, internally scanning your body from head to toe. Just noticing any softening that's happening. Try not to judge what's happening inside of you. Just be completely aware. We'll now go further into our meditation. I'll ask you the 4 soul questions designed to help you clarify who you are, what you want, what you're grateful for, and what your purpose is. The first soul question is, who am I? Who am I? Beyond your name, your gender, your title, your financial status, any label that this world places on you. Who are you now? The next soul question is, what do I want? What do I really, really want? This is a moment to really get to your deepest truth. What do I really want? The third soul question is, what is my purpose? Since I'm here on this earth, I must have a purpose. And one of the most important things that we can ever do in this lifetime is to know what our unique fingerprint is on the world. What are we called to do? What is our purpose? Ask yourself, what's my purpose? The final soul question is, what am I grateful for? What am I grateful for? Gratitude is powerful, often underestimated. It's in recognizing all of the things that we've been given already. Sometimes we yearn for so much, yet we don't take a moment to be thankful and grateful for what we already have. Being grateful opens the door to receive more things to be grateful for. But we must first give ourselves a moment to recognize all that we already have. Ask yourself, what am I grateful for? Please release all of the questions and answers and return to the natural inflow and outflow of your breathing. Even recognizing that this simple act of breath is a miracle. We'll now go deeper into our meditation. I'll introduce today's mantra. And as I mention the mantra, you'll continue to repeat this mantra. Mantra serves as a mind vehicle into meditation. Today's mantra is grace. 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 Grace is something that we're given that we may or may not even deserve to be given. Allow this mantra of grace to lead you into today's meditation. Continue to silently repeat the word grace as you inhale, and grace as you exhale. Repeating grace on the inhalation. Repeating grace on the exhalation. You notice that your attention has drifted to thoughts in your mind, sensations in the body, or sounds in your environment. Please bring all of your attention and awareness back to repeating today's mantra. Grace on the inhalation. Grace on the exhalation. Try not to think of any profound experience to happen as you're repeating today's mantra, because that will take you away from being fully present. Just simply, effortlessly and easily repeat the mantra grace. Continue meditating. I will mind the time and let you know when our meditation is up. Please release today's mantra and return to the natural inflow and outflow of your breathing. Resting in existence. Resting in presence. Resting in being. Existence, presence, being. Sat, Chit, Ananda. Just rest. I'll now introduce today's intention. As I repeat the intention, allow it to flow through your entire body. And also silently repeat the intention with me. Today's intention is grateful heart. Grateful heart. When you're ready, you can put the palms of your hands together at your heart center. Just resting in this position right here. Being grateful for today's practice and your participation in this thing called life. When you're ready, you can bow in gratitude to your soul. And you can softly raise your head, open your eyes, and extend the blessing. Namaste. Namaste. Namaste to each of you. Namaste, Coach Casey. Namaste, Otis. Namaste, Michelle. And each of you on today's call, thank you so much for participating in this mindful session. I hope that it was beneficial. The 3 keys discussed around today's topic on contribution, making a contribution and adding to the collective good. Those keys are: number 1 is to have a vision, number 2 is to identify the need, and number 3 is to take action. It's that action part. But you need to get clear on where you are to serve in order to take action. And as you remember, in the doing of taking action. It's where you'll begin to realize and define what your niche is, where you can best serve. I hope that you will invite someone that you know to our weekly sessions. That is my hope, is that this community starts to grow and that each person bring a person. Is that okay with you? I hope so. And here's what you can expect from me next week. Next week, I'm going to talk about the root of confidence. The root of confidence. We hear about confidence and people have great ideas around how to be more confident. I mean, there are certain skills and tips that we can use to express more confidence and to become more confident. But I never hear or haven't heard anyone talk about the root of confidence. Have you? Am I the only one that hasn't heard that? Hasn't heard anyone talk about the root, the very root of confidence. See, if you can touch the root, if you can access the root, then there's nothing that you have to do in particular to be confident. So we're going to get at that good living and get to the root of where confidence is. I'm your girl, Erica. You can find me here on Instagram each Saturday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I cannot wait to see you next week. As usual, your purposeful journey begins right here. I'll see you soon.